Monmouth University released a national poll today with who else in the lead? Donald Trump. With 28% of the vote. Christie came in 9th place with 3% of the vote. Now, to bring it a little bit closer to home, the most recent Rutgers-Eagleton poll also had Trump in the lead. Now, the poll also found that nearly 70% of voters in the state feel that Governor Christie should end his campaign. We have Ashley Koenig in studio via Skype. She is the assistant director of the Rutgers-Eagleton poll. When you look at Christie's numbers in the polls, I mean, he still is in that 10. Is that a reason to stay in the race?
Well, I think what's very telling is his voters back home, who are supposed to be the voters that know him best, are telling him to drop out, to end his campaign.
What do you see with Trump's numbers? I mean, it seems to me that he was a little bit higher than that over the past couple of months, and he's actually come down a little bit, whereas Ben Carson seems to have exploded onto the scene.
Well, I think it's this outsider effect, right? So I think whether it's Donald Trump, whether it's Ben Carson, whether it's Carly Fiorina, people kind of have this outsider fever. So whether or not Trump is fluctuating, he's still number one, and he has other outsiders close behind.
Let me ask you a serious question. Is your poll relevant at this point? Because you've got a New Jersey primary that will come far after any of the other major relevant primaries, Iowa, New Hampshire primary, Super Tuesday. By the time we get to New Jersey, we've pretty much picked a nominee in almost every election over the past decades.
I think it's voters saying, we're tired of the governor being out of state. We're tired of him running this campaign. He needs to come home and get issues done on our home turf. But I think on a national front, it's showing once again, if your voters at home aren't behind you, then who should be behind you when they're the ones who are supposed to know you best?
This idea of people being frustrated with Governor Christie out of state, it's not new that he's out of state. I think it's just new that people realize it. Being the chair of the Republican Governors Association took him out of the state quite a bit.
That may be true that it's not new, but it doesn't make it okay. I mean, a lot of New Jerseyans are under the perception that the governor's not doing his job. And I think that in any other election cycle, if you told people you were running 9th amongst Republican candidates, you'd be irrelevant. It's just because we have so many Republican candidates.
I guess the word of caution for everybody is that at this time or a similar time in the last cycle, Michelle Bachmann was considered a Republican frontrunner. So anything can happen. Thanks, Ashley.